Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Sonntagsmorgens Frühshow.
And welcome back. It's the early morning Sunday show, the show that you actually probably don't really get excited about. Oh my God, I can't wait for Sunday, for the early morning Sunday show. But if you do, good on you. Thank you for that. That's a mountain goats. That's all as appropriate, isn't it, for Colorado? This is a Billy String shirt, but yeah, mountain goats on it. Cool. The opening, that was my, that's my German son, the foreign exchange with Malta. And so I told you last week he came to visit. I says, you have to do an opening. I have to work on him. I'm showing that enthusiasm, showing that German. Maybe that's the German in him, just that quieter side. But he's a great, just fantastic guy. He's doing extremely well in the U.S. Has a couple places in New York City. I need to get out there. You keep saying when you're coming out, and I really need to get out there. So one of these days. Everything's one of these days, isn't it? Everything. Today we got some post-rock, we got some psych rock, we got some old psych, we got some new psych. We have a soundtrack, and we have some synth pop classic from the 80s. How exciting is that? But first, this.
One less deer eating my flowers.
So, our best friends out of Michigan, we actually went last year flew back to see them, came out to visit us. They've never been to Colorado before. So that was some of the scenes from Colorado. Because we only had, they came in Friday and leaving today on Sunday, so not a lot of time, but yeah, it was just fun. Always good to get out. Took a couple of days off of work and yeah, spent time with them doing fun things. So beautiful state, so much to see and do, and always exciting. So two guys talking about records. Don't forget to check out the podcast this week. It's on the Believe Network, BLEAV. Along with Spotify, iHeart, Facebook, Amazon, YouTube, at Radio Wasteland Records. Yeah, join us. Always a good time. Only 1 hour long. Not an hour and 5 minutes, just an hour. If we could go longer, but we just like to keep it at that. So, cheers. Two guys talking about records. We call this an edit point there. All right, I had got a brand new album from Michael P. Dawson. He sent some extra albums. I'm going to show that next week. Steve, A is for Ellis, B is for Bob, C is for Carlson, just in case you didn't know that. And he sent me this. I got to get a frame. I'm going to frame it up. Pretty neat. He has a thing, and they're about talking hits. He had this book, and he sent out some of these to people. Just took them out of the book. Isn't that cool? Very, very nice. So well worth putting up because, again, one of my all-time favorite groups. Thank you very much, Steve. Most appreciative. He's been packing up his music because he's moving out to Arizona from Chicago. The weather's been in Chicago right now, or during the winter. I'd want to get the hell out of town too. Then my friend Isa out of Boston, he did this. This is so cool. Looking back and revisiting the 20 important albums from 64 to 68. Isn't that neat? And he pasted this and did this. This is just neat, man. This is fun. Isa, you just, I'm telling you, the stuff you do. Isa's tasted music is incredible. So, here's my favorite albums of this year. I don't know what the hell they are. I don't know what. What do you listen to, Isa? This is great. I mean, thank you, Isa. That was wonderful. And he sent me a CD because I said Elton John's Greatest Hits Volume 1 is the one to have. He goes, Volume 2 is pretty good too. So he sent me this. Elton John's, his greatest hits from 76 to 86. It does have I'm Still Standing, which I do like that song. We got Kiki D, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Kiss the Bride, Nikita, sad songs say so much. I don't like that because it's kind of about sad songs. I guess why they call it the blues. Well, I kind of sad too. So thank you, Issa. Very, very nice. So Steve, Issa, thank you. So now that brings us to some music, which I didn't even get these off the covers. I've just been scrambling lately, it seems like. But our very first one is post-rock Mono, Snowdrop. And if you watched my video earlier this week, Mono was one of my favorite albums so far of this year. I really enjoyed this album. Mono, of course, is from Japan. We have in here, you got that. That's a beautiful, isn't it? Some pretty artwork. Oh, it has a poster. Wow. Suitable for framing. And then we got, it's a 2-album set. And it comes in colored. And it is a kind of a yellowy cream, I guess. Yeah, a yellowy cream might be a good way to describe that. So Mono is a 4-piece band, been around for 2.5 decades out of Japan. And this is the new album they put out for 2026, Snowdrop. It's the 13th album they have done. This is the first album they have done without Steve Albini, who's done all their albums since 2016. That was a tough loss for them. They were really close and they loved what he did with their music. And of course, we think post-rock, Steve Albini, great person. On this album, they have a 10-piece orchestra. When I did my earlier video on this, I think I said 25. Well, it was really only 10, so sorry. They also have an 8-piece voice choir. Aren't all choirs voice? They said voice choir, so I guess some choirs aren't voice. I don't know what they are. But that's what they have. The album opens up with Snowdrop, and there's just this sparse guitar and bass happening, kind of this quietness. And then the instruments slowly come in, and you can hear this looping going on with the music, but it brings it in more and more. And then when the drums come in, everything takes off. Now that is classic Mono. I'm not an expert on this band, but I think this is my 4th album from them. And I learned about them just recently, and I absolutely loved them. Oath blew me away. So, but they like this starting slow and quiet and build, and when the drum hits, it just explodes. Excellent stuff. There was Winter Dolphin. That one actually roars right out of the gate. It just takes off and comes right at you. And it's just this wall of melodic noise that's happening. Not just noise, melodic noise. Okay, let's get that right. There is Gerbera, which loyal love, I guess, is what it's about. And on that one, it starts with the drums that are working with these pulsing strings. And then it suddenly goes kind of quiet. But then eventually it all comes roaring back. So it starts a little harder, quiets, and then here it comes again, the music. And it just expands until the choir enters. And the choir, they're not singing lyrics, more, that kind of crap. But it adds extra musical instrumentation to it because the choir is being used more as an instrument. Very exciting stuff. The music on this is cinematic melodic noise. We're going to call it that, cinematic melodic noise. And yeah, this is just, it's a great listen. I enjoyed this a lot. My friend Andy Ford, check out his channel up in the UK. He's a really big Mono fan. This didn't rank as for some of their best, but I'm not as much of an expert. I really like this. This is in 45 RPM, which means I just keep screwing it up. I play it at 33 RPM, then don't change it. So my next record, I play at 45 RPM. Messes me up. You can get this in 33 RPM. For whatever reason, I thought Due to the symphonic nature of it, I went 45 RPM because I thought I would get more sound and more feelings. So, man. Brings us to Ghostwoman. Ghostwoman was recommended to me by one of you, and I can't remember who, and I apologize for that. But this was a recommendation of something that I should listen to, and I went and I checked out some of their albums, and I really liked what I heard. They're out of Canada, so yay! Here we got more Canadiana music, and they formed in 2016. And I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I have a kind of a caramel flavored one. Generally, I just take Folgers, black. Well, with a little drop of cream. I heard that on the news, they said if you have 5 cups a day, it's actually healthy for you. Guess who? Well, I drink a pot of coffee, and it's 4 mugs, bigger mugs, which is probably more than 5 cups a day. So, I don't know. I guess I'm highly caffeinated. But I'm healthy because of it. So, brings us back to Ghostwoman. Garage rock, psych, punk, I guess you could say, lo-fi, indie pop, all of that might describe this group. And they are, again, is recommended by one of you. This is Welcome to the Civilized World. And this album, I believe, came out in 2025. And if I had had this last year, it probably would have been one of my top 10 albums, I think. I really liked it. Make sure there's nothing in there that I can give you. Nope. And vinyl. Ooh, it's that famous Coke bottle blue that seems to be so popular. Welcome to the Civilized World. It's a marriage of Americana music and psych. And you get that feel of it. In fact, some of this, I just thought, it's like Twin Peaks. It's that kind of feel on some of these songs. It's like going to the Twin Peaks Roadhouse, for those of you that watched that show. It's a duo of Evan Yuchenko. I believe he's guitars and vocals. He's from Canada. And then there's Ia van Dessel. He plays the drums, and he's from Belgium. So a Canadian in Belgium. The music does have a dark feel to it, even though we have a happy face on here. The music has a darker feel to it. From Now On was one of the songs, and yeah, From Now On. That had a really great psych feel to it. Just, it comes right at you. Andrea Hendonia. Hendonia. I don't know, folks. I just don't know. But that song had this reverb going on and this twang of the guitar. Loved it. This is a great album. Ghostwoman, I'm a fan. I'll probably get some of their other albums. I had listened to samples of all of them. This is the one I like best, so I grabbed that one. Yeah. Ghostwoman, Welcome to the Civilized World from 2025. Top-notch album. Really nice. Speaking of psych, let's get a little bit into psych. And with that, we are going to add gratuitous nudity, but it's, it's drawn. But that's still okay. We have naked women crawling up, and we have them doing whatever. The name of this group is Killing Floor, and the name of the album is Out of Uranus. As Beavis and Butthead would say, they said Uranus. It's Killing Floor, formed in London, formed in 68, broke up in 72, reformed in 02. They put out 2 albums under each reincarnation. Now, the O2 group's supposed to be still going on. I can't tell you, but yeah, each reincarnation did 2 albums. There we go. The inside. Pretty cool, very nice. Kind of tells you what you might be getting. Their first album had a lot of piano. I think the time the second album came, the piano player quit. So there's less piano. That's just the label. No big deal on that. Killing Floor is what it says. On here, well, with Killing Floor, it's blues rock. Blues rock with a lot of psych in there. And they spend a lot of time touring in the UK and in the US. And they toured like with Jethro Tull 10 years after, toured with Yes, Freddie King. Actually, I believe they supported Freddie King. And this was their second album, Out of Uranus. It's a heavier rock, acid rock type album. That's what you get. This is just excellent artwork. I really like the front of this. You have songs on here. It begins with Acid Bean, and that's just this fast, driving, funky riff going on. It is just a great way to start an album. It really catches your attention, and it hooks you and brings you right on in. And the name of the albums are in here. That was the third song on this. There was Son of Wet. Son of Wet. All right, so maybe song titles wasn't their strong point. It has an extended drum solo. So for those of you that's your thing, I want extended drum solos. So popular in the 70s, you're going to get that. I tried not to let that make me not like it because there is a hell of a jam going on. Get rid of the drum solo, there's a great jam happening on this album. Where Nobody Ever Goes was another one, hard blues type album with harmonica added in, just for fun. Great album here, really happy. Radiation Deluxe Series, it's called. And again, it came out in 1970. Killing Floors the group out of Uranus. Yeah, with some partial nudity. What more can you ask for? Takes us into, I don't know, our fourth album, I guess. And we have a soundtrack, The Theory of Everything by Jóhann Jóhannsson, who is from Iceland. Sadly, Jóhann Jóhannsson died in 2018 at the age of 49. He had done 11 solo albums. I have some of them. 17 film scores. Color vinyl. That's a beautiful blue, isn't it? Gorgeous. This, Jóhann Jóhannsson's known for neoclassical. Kind of a blend of minimalist piano with subtle electronics is what he usually does. The movie here, Theory of Everything, is about Stephen Hawking. If you've never seen the movie, I highly recommend it. It's an emotional movie. It's a movie of triumph. It's a movie of sadness. It's a movie of courage. It's a movie of love. It was very good. My wife even enjoyed it. If my wife liked it, there must have been something with it, I think. But it was very interesting. It was interesting to hear, Stephen Hawking, what was going on in his life, and, his slow deterioration, which was quite sad, but not his mind. So on here, you don't get as much electronic. You get more orchestration on here. It's very much more orchestration. There is some electronic and some piano, but he uses a 65-piece orchestra, so it comes at you strong. The piano, though, it's still an important instrument. It's the piano, he uses it to express emotions. Especially of Stephen Hawking and of his girlfriend and then wife Jane. And it does a great job with it. The music in here, it portrays passion. It portrays the joy of discovery. And when I say passion, it's about falling in love when Jane and Hawking fall in love. But it's also the joy of discovery and the despair that he has as he loses his physical attributes. I mean, just sad, but it's amazing, just an amazing movie. Obviously, I need to read one of his books, a biography of him. But it's a gorgeous soundtrack. This is one of those soundtracks that absolutely enhanced the movie. It made the movie 10 times better. It was one of those movies that I watch and I'm listening and I go, that's soundtrack. I have to have the soundtrack. And I did have this. I lost it in the flood. This is not a cheap soundtrack to get. But finally, one came up at a decent price, I thought, on Discogs, and so I grabbed it because I love first off, Jóhann Jóhannsson makes great music. But there's a wonderful movie, and the soundtrack made it even better. Theory of Everything. Excellent movie.
If you don't get up and play a game with me, I won't come back here again. Ever.
Come on. Brings us to our final one, and this is just for Vinyl Richie. There you go, bud. I know you appreciate that. There's no doubt about it. So, I dedicate that ripping open to you. We have a Japanese press of an album I've never owned. Aha! Now, I've made fun of Aha a lot, especially on our podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records. We both kind of rip on Aha. Maybe they don't deserve it, but guess what? We do it anyway. So, but Aha's out of Oslo. Formed in 82, they broke up in 94. Reformed in 98. Broke up in 2010. And in 2015, they came back again. Obviously, people want Aha back in their life. When you think of synth pop, think of Aha. They put out 11 albums. And many people in the U.S. don't know Aha put out that many albums, because in the U.S. we know they put out one album, and it was their debut, Hunting High and Low. And there we go, on Warner Brothers. And this is a nice Japanese press, and we're number one there. Number one. So, the group Aha, actually, they is a trio, and they formed in 1982, and they moved in London. They moved to London because they wanted to be closer to where the music was happening. The name of the band, Aha, actually came from, there was this song, and they said it was a terrible song, a god-awful song, but the name of it was Aha. And they liked that. They go, that's a cool title. Song sucks, but the title's pretty awesome. So Aha is what they became. Now get this. Aha's early influences was The Doors, Joy Division, and Echo and the Bunnymen. How much do you hear of that in there? That's when they were in Norway. Then they moved to London, and suddenly their inspirations was soft cell, Yazoo, and orchestratal maneuvers in the dark. Aha! That thus came their music. Take on Me originally was a song called Miss Erie. That was the original title of Miss Erie. They recorded it, and the first time they recorded it, they called it they called it Lesson 1. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what it did terrible. They released the song Take On Me 3 different times, and it tanked. They thought, God, this is the song. Nobody cared. Then they re-released it in 85. But with it, they added a groundbreaking video, and it pushed it to #1. This was the first Norwegian band to have a #1 hit in the U.S. How about that? I don't know if there's another Norwegian band that had a #1 hit. I couldn't tell you. But that's what happened. 4th time to release that song. Hunting High and Low is the name of the album. Came out in 1985. And it's kind of a lush new wave type album. And it's a great example to me of what synth pop's about. When I know synth pop, this is a wonderful example of it. On here, you get some very dramatic overtures happening, but also kind of the new wave keys that you find in a lot of songs. Just a lot of synths and stuff happening. It is, same. What was that song here? The Sun Always Shines on TV. That was The Sun Always Shines on TV. Actually, charted too, and with it, there is just this feel. It starts almost like a ballad, and it's kind of okay. You've got a ballad happening here, and then it just takes off with this synthesizer. It becomes synthesizer heaven for those that like it. A lot of the songs are good, but not all of them work. For instance, the title track here, Hunting High and Low, I pretty much could have slept through that thing. I don't like some of the really slow stuff. It gets too lush or too, just kind of fartsy or whatever. I don't know. I like their faster stuff. So the album's okay. I'm not like, oh my God, I cannot believe I never had this. But I thought, hey, here's a Japanese press. Let's just get it, because why buy a cheaper one when you can buy a more expensive one at a Japanese press on an album that you just don't know if you're going to like or not? Does it really make sense, right? So there we go. High and Low from Aha. And of course, Take On Me is on there. So that's what we got this week. As always, thank you very much for hanging out with me and suffering through this. You did very well, I think. So I hope each of you have a really good week, a fantastic week, and we'll see you again next week and maybe even a midweek. Have a good one. Bye.